Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. I'm your host, Mike Barrett in Seattle, Washington, joined today on this marvelous Monday morning, as I always am, by the controversial, the lovely lady with the lustrous hair from Hayden, Idaho, Jennifer Fala Doreen. Jen, how was your weekend? Quiet, I didn't hear much from you.
Oh, I'm just busy. Had a good weekend. Yeah, doing domestic things.
Cool. Doing the domestic thing. All right, it's great to have all of you guys here. So Jen, we have some Jentel today, which I want to get to, but what I want to do is go through some other things that are related to the changes maybe in the culture and some things we see, but I want to start actually with something that's completely different. So the question is, and I'm going to play this video for you. The question is, was there a giant space vagina over Turkey last week? And here's the video.
Apparently.
All right, this is a follow-up from my last video that's attached down at the bottom. You look, this strange stuff has been happening in the sky. I attached a video of the clouds actually moving. Now today we actually have, it's almost like a red disc in the sky. This is not CGI. You can pause the video. You can download it. I'll make it downloadable. This is original, raw fucking footage in the sky of this weird shape that is not normal. Go ahead, say it's some weather, natural phenomenon. This is not normal. It's a red cloud that looks like a fucking UFO. And it keeps moving and changing. I have a little bit more closer up at the end of this video and this footage, but I mean, just take a look. Seriously, I mean, zoom in. Is that normal? That is not at all normal. Nor were the sounds that went along with the last video.
We don't have the sounds.
So just take a second, click on both of them. Chime in, let me know. If you know exactly what this is, great. Let me know.
Well, I know what it is, Jen. It's
things are changing.
It's a giant red space vagina, is what it is. And you don't believe me? Fine. You don't have to believe me. You don't want to believe me? You don't have to believe me. Here, let me shoot a little screen share. I rotated it and I took a picture, frame grab there, and rotated it over on my. It's up over on my Twitter feed, and there it is. Hopefully everybody can see it. It even has a little love button at the top. So, Jen, I gotta ask you, what the fuck is this thing?
Well, if you were to talk to a meteorologist, they'll tell you exactly what it is. It actually depends on your perspective, the placement of the sun at the time, the way the color goes. It is a rare but cloud formation. It's not a spaceship. It's not a space vagina, It's not a portal. It's just kind of like the conditions at the time. And if you would look at the topography of the area and the placement of the sun and the time that he looked in his perspective, you get that image. So it's not paranormal. It's not a bomb. It's not anything like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The sunlight passing through water particulates would turn it red. If it is a space vagina, it looks inflamed to me. I think she needs to, definitely get some cream on it or something. I'm so sorry. But I'm like, dude, seriously, what are you trying to say here? It looks like a very odd natural cloud formation to me too. So I just wanted to, embarrass you and get your take on it right away. To start the show off. So I think,
but yeah.
Well,
I'll talk about vaginas all day long. Hey, me and the girls, we talk about stuff. But
just in case it was something odd.
It really depends on your perspective. Yeah.
Just in case it was something odd, I wanted to do. So, all right, a couple other things happened that I found to be interesting in a different context. yesterday. Yesterday there were 2 sports games that were played that were very big deal. One was the Bills and the Bengals were playing each other, and if you recall, that was the 2 teams that were where the guy had the heart attack on the field, went into cardiac arrest, Damar Hamlin, and dropped dead for a while and was supposedly resurrected. So they played again yesterday in a playoff game that took place in Buffalo, and it was in the snow, and there were a couple of odd things about it. One of them was that Jamar Chase was supposedly there, and so they kept showing him on the video.
Here, Damar stood up, right?
Yeah, he did. This is it right here.
What a scene. Oh. It's his sign.
The problem is, you never saw his face.
What a beautiful, triumphant story
And-
that galvanized this entire
And
nation.
then he makes an Illuminati symbol, actually, which is the triangle. And so,
Yeah.
Jen, a lot of people were saying, well, I said, what proof do we have that's actually him? And that he's even still alive? But what do you think about that? Do you think that
I
was
say
really
no.
him?
First instinct, no.
Big no. So what's
It
the
could have been
purpose?
a family member.
Yeah. But what's the purpose of this? Is it to cover up for the fact that the vaccine is the issue? Is that why they're creating all this? That's it. It's vaccine cover up.
A lot of these, like the NFL and places like that, were told that, oh yeah, we were supposed to do this and get everybody vaccinated and everything like that, and you're not going to be held liable. But a lot of them are starting to get nervous that they may be held accountable by the players and everybody else in some other ways, find some loophole to do so. And they're trying to say, oh, no, everything's fine. Look, there he is, behind glass with a hoodie on inside.
Yeah, and a mask.
Jacket and hoodie on inside. Yeah.
I mean, there's women in Afghanistan that you can see more of than you saw of this guy's face. And again, I was just like, there's something wrong with that. Why would they shoot through the snow like that? I mean, I guess it was snowing, but I just wanted to know what you thought, and I'm glad we got the answer that it was not him. I think under any normal circumstances, he would have done a little pregame interview. He would have said, no, I'm fine. I'm doing great. Everything's terrific. My recovery's on track. It was weird, but I'm going to do okay.
I immediately got a no. I heard a no. I felt deception. The whole thing looked fake to me. That may have even been a child of his, but sitting next to him. But I feel like it's family related that they set that up. I think that maybe they got paid off. I don't know.
That's what I think. Because look at the family of George Floyd. They made $27 million off his death. If he, in fact, did die. We don't know that yet, for sure. We'll know when the truth starts coming out about everything. And I think that it's the same thing here. I think the family probably said to the NFL, you better come up with something, or we're going to tell everybody that we think it was the vaccine that he took. That's what I think's going on, is that they got paid off to cooperate in this sham. Now, speaking of shams, other stuff happened in that game. The Cincinnati Bengals were not supposed to really win that game. The league wanted the Buffalo Bills to win the game. But the Bengals came out and established dominance right away. They got up, I think, 14-0. Then it was 14-7. And then they were driving for another touchdown. The Bills had not stopped them yet in the first half of the game. And they threw a touchdown pass to one of their receivers. And then the league did this. Now, I'm going to show you the video of this. And anybody who's any kind of American football fan is going to know what this is. So let's go through it, and then we'll talk about that aspect of things, because I think there's something else going on too. Actually, we have one other thing to show. All right, here's the catch.
Never gave up on the play.
1 foot down, 2 feet down.
So at that point,
Touchdown.
he's going to create possession again, but his feet are going to be right out. And by the time he does that, I think it's the correct call. Good job, Gene. You were dead on it. Never gave up on the play. Get ready to pause
1 foot
it
down,
right
2 feet
there.
down, 3 feet
So
down,
He's
in
in.
possession,
Create
in
possession
control.
again, but his feet are going to be right out. And by the
Did he
time
have two
does
hands on
that,
the? You don't have to have two hands on the ball. You just have to have the ball.
So, Jen, the thing is, that would have made it 21-7, which is, and I hope everybody saw the video. That would have made it 21-7, and with the Bengals defense being really good, that was basically would have been an incontrovertible. You know, they wouldn't have gotten it back from that lead, and they didn't anyway. The Bengals ended up winning the game. But right before this, I tweeted, "Oh, okay. Oh, the Bengals are up 14-0. Get ready for a whole bunch of penalty flags against the Bengals to keep them from running away with this game." Now, there's two agendas there. One is, well, we want people to keep watching this game. If it's 41-0 in the first half, everybody's going to tune it out and go to Pornhub. So, you know, sorry, it's been shown in Super Bowls when there's a blowout that Pornhub's, you know, from the city of the team that's losing, that their usage numbers go way up. So they don't want that. But here's the other thing about it is I didn't show you the full part of it. He caught it. It was a touchdown. It was called a touchdown on the field. The NFL rules say that you have to have indisputable evidence to overturn a scoring play, which clearly that was not. And they all said, and then they brought in their rules expert, a guy named Gene Steratore, who used to be an NFL referee. And the announcers and Gene all said touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. And then all of a sudden, Tony Romo, who's the guy with the really weird, you know, stupid voice, starts saying, well, I don't know, maybe he was juggling that. Now that I look at it again. So here's what happened, I think, absolutely. New York, which is the NFL headquarters, called into the refs and called into the network and said, we're not going to let this stand. You guys need to start walking it back. And then they started walking it back, and they said, oh, no, it's not touchdown. So this guy, Gene Steratore, this fucking ref, and I know the refs are corrupt, after saying it was a touchdown, then he says, well, no, that's not a catch. You know, I don't think so. And then, oh, you're absolutely right. They all started agreeing with each other. Okay. And
so what was their point that they made?
They said he juggled the ball. They said he juggled the ball, which is ridiculous. Under the NFL rules, I can stick the ball up across the goal line for literally a split second, and it's a touchdown. And then the guy knocks the ball out of my hands. In this case, he caught it, got 3 feet down. And the interesting thing is that Twitter, NFL Twitter, with unanimity, unless they were Bills fans, and all the independent NFL observers are all going, that's a touchdown. What are they talking about? That's a touchdown. What are they talking about? And then
let's watch it again. Let's watch it again.
Okay. And then interestingly, they started saying, why would they rule that way? Because it's a touchdown is what they were saying. So let's watch it again. And I have one more sports thing to go over.
Get ready to pause it right there. So at that point, he's going to create possession again, but his feet are going to be right out. And by the time he does that, I think it's the correct call. Good job, Gene. You were dead on.
Yeah, fuck you, Gene. You're a liar. So are you, Tony.
Get ready to pause it right there. So at that point, he's going to create possession again, but his feet are going to be right out. And by the time he does that, I think it's the correct call. Good job, Gene. You were dead on it.
No, you weren't. Okay, so did you drop off? Jen, did you drop off?
Yeah, I'm having connection problems over here today with the Wi-Fi or the.
Did you see it or do I? Did you see it or do I?
No, I didn't see it. It just started happening when I asked to see it.
All right, let's do it again. Go back over to Twitter.
Never gave up on the play. Get ready to pause it right there. So at that point, he's going to create possession again, but his feet are going to be right out. And by the time he does that, I think it's the correct call. Good job, Gene. You were dead on it. Never gave up on the play. Get ready to pause it right there. So at that point, he's going to create possession again, but his feet are going to be right out.
At that point, it's a touchdown.
I think it's the correct call. Good job, Gene. You were dead on it.
Yep. Okay, so that's the play again. Oh, you're frozen again. What the fuck? Jen's frozen. take her out. Bring her back. Okay, I'm going to remove her and bring her back in. So we'll have to wait and see when we get Jen back. And I want to continue with this point before we get on. Yeah, the NFL doesn't want Jen exposing their bullshit. That's for sure. Jen. Well, let's just go through and say hi to everybody while we're waiting. Ooh, Diana Leyland's here. Stephen Leister is here. Jane Meyer is here. Ron Davidoff is here. Ron, rock and roll, Ron. Love you. Oh, by the way, I get my my final crown in tomorrow. They take the old one, they take the fake one out and put the real one in. Supposedly, they've got it right this time. We shall see. Looking forward to that and not looking forward to that. Marielena Santora. There's Jen. Did it happen again, Jen?
Yeah, something's going on over here.
Okay, you have 4 solid bars right now, so I'm going to try it one more time. Are you frozen again? You're frozen again. Now you got red bars. Okay, I'm not going to show the video again. See if the green bars come back. This is fucked up. Angry Mimi is here. Tony S is here. What's going on? Prayers to you, Angry Mimi. Yep. Glenn, how you doing? Everybody wants you to get better, Angry Mimi. Oh, Victoria. Getting her weight on her foot again. That's great. Space Vagina. Yep. Red Skies at Night. What the hell, Jen? She froze again.
I don't know. Let's do Jentel.
Oh, there you are. Okay, now you're back.
Okay, let's do Jentel really fast before I drop off again.
Well, no, I got a couple.
Happening.
No, I got it. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. You'll come back. You're
Okay.
green and then you're yellow. So did you haven't seen it again then? But did you?
No,
have
I did. I saw it when I was frozen, but it was playing, and that's absolutely he pulled it into the chest. He had possession of it. He wasn't fumbling it. And even when the feet, he was crouched and squatting on the ground. Touchdown. And this tells you that.
Well, wait, because I have one more to show you, and one more thing to show you, and then I want to go to the point you're about to make. I'm pretty sure. So, fuck, she froze again. God. Oh. Maybe a giant baby will pop. Yeah, maybe Dave Bowman from 2001: A Space Odyssey will pop out of the giant space vagina. I don't know. Jen's frozen again. Lenticular clouds. That's like saying glacial recession to explain the face on Mars. That's what people say all the time. Okay, I'm going to remove her again. God dang it, Jen. All right. So I'm going to continue with the point on the off chance that she can see me elsewhere. Jenny, I'm going to leave you on that side this time. Okay.
Okay. Somebody doesn't want us to talk about the NFL.
All right. So I want to show you one other thing, which is... No, I don't want to do that. I want to go entire screen. Oh, that's odd. Okay. That's not what I expected.
Okay.
Okay. Can we see Twitter? No, we can't. Can we? No, we can't. All right. We're going to undo that. we're going to go. Boy, a lot of tech. I thought Mercury retrograde was over, Jen.
I don't know if there's a storm coming or what's going on, but
Oh,
they've
there's
been
a
doing.
There's a storm coming. I can promise you that. All right. So another thing happened. There was a soccer game, a Premier League soccer game, which is the biggest prize in Europe, really. It's a Premier League title between Arsenal, who's leading, and Manchester United. Now, my favorite team is Manchester City, so fuck Man United and fuck Arsenal. And the best result for City would have been because the standings are Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United. United's not really a factor, but they kind of are. But they played, Arsenal and Manchester United played yesterday. And the game was tied at 2-2. Now, if you win a game, you get 3 points. If you lose a game, you get 0. And if you tie, you get 1 point. So if Arsenal gets 1 point out of this game, that's known as dropping points. And Manchester City, who's only 5 or 8 points behind, catches up a little bit, right? With still 18 games to play. So this was an important game in terms of Arsenal staying ahead. And they were playing at home, but the game was tied 2-2. The game is 90 minutes, and they were in the 90th minute. They were in the last minute. And there's usually 3 or 4 extra minutes for injuries and stuff like that they account for. And the Arsenal guys passed the ball in the attacking zone to one of their players who was clearly what they call offside. So I'm going to show you a screen cap, assuming everybody can see it. And what the rule is that no part of this player can be behind the defensive player. Here's the goal over here to the left when the ball is passed. So if you take this line and you draw a parallel line through his foot, which is the part that matters, or actually you could draw it through his hand, technically. But this guy, Alexander Zinchenko, who, by the way, used to play for us, was clearly offside. And then he got the ball and he passed it across and they scored a goal. And they reviewed it, and they only reviewed the guy who scored the goal. They didn't review this. They actually refused to review it. And then they put out a screen cap similar to this one where they bent the lines so that this guy was onside and not offside. So anybody with any brains besides Arsenal fans knows that he was offside. And as soon as he touched the ball, Zinchenko touches the ball in the pass, flag should have gone up by the assistant referee on the sideline. Play should have been called off, no goal. Game ends most likely 2-2, which hurts Arsenal. And Arsenal is considered one of the big clubs from London, and they have a big fan base. And it basically everybody wins money-wise, monetarily. The Premier League wins, and NBC wins, and the BBC wins, and all these networks win if Arsenal wins the title for the first time in 20 years. They've sucked, we've dominated. So there is an inherent bias against Manchester City. And again, this VAR, which is called Video Assistant Referee, has been used. It also cost us points in a game last week. There were penalties that were completely obvious that should have benefited Manchester City in their last 2 games that were not called. VAR ruled them out. So there's clearly an agenda to help Arsenal win the title and keep Manchester City from winning the title for the 5th time in 6 years and like 7th or 8th time in the last 10 years. So given all that, and given what happened in Buffalo, the question I wanted to ask you is there an agenda now to allow these controversies to be seen for what they are? Because there were all kinds of people saying, what's VAR doing? They're offside. Is there an agenda to wake people up by showing the corruption in their sports? No.
But there is an attempt to recapture some wealth right now.
That's what it is. So it's betting and things like that.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's but it's centered around that.
Okay, so
manipulation of games.
I started getting this idea that, well, maybe they're bringing this right out in the open, so people will start going, which side is they're supposed to be neutral, but the league and the network seem to be on the other side. So I'm wrong. Okay, that's fine. I was thinking maybe they were using it to wake people up, but the answer to that is no. Okay, one more thing before we go into the Jentel, which is really important. I've seen the Jentel. I get to see the Jentel like an hour and a half before you guys do. So I'm lucky. everybody is saying things are really, really close to happening this week. The broker, he's about ready to call it. Charlie Ward and Simon, kind of been off doing their own weird little thing. But Wolverine, other people are saying, hey, we're right on top of this thing. So this is Mark Z from this morning when he was asked about
JL, I will let this week play out, and then we can finally not have to talk about that comment again ever. One, don't worry about it. That's going to be my best advice to you, and that will become glaringly obvious as the next few days roll on. Roll on.
Don't worry about what?
Roll on.
So what he was
James,
what he was asked about, let's replay it. What he was asked about was Charlie Ward and Simon Park saying, oh, it's not going to happen until 2024 now because you people aren't good enough. You're not good enough people to deserve this. You have to be more humanitarian and less selfish. So that was Mark's response.
JL, I will let this week play out, and then we can finally not have to talk about that comment again ever. One, don't worry about it. That's going to be my best advice to you, and that will become glaringly obvious as the next few days roll on. Roll on, roll on, roll on. James.
Okay, so what Mark is saying is it will become obviously glaringly obvious that it's not going to last into 2024, and that what Charlie and Simon, and apparently Simon agreed with Charlie or something at some point over, I didn't see it, that they're full of shit. And the broker says they're full of shit. And Wolvie is saying they're full of shit. And a lot of other people are saying that this bullshit about it all taking another year is BS. Now, I was wondering, as I was putting all this together today, I wonder what the Archangels have to say about this controversy. And I luckily on this show, I have somebody that I can ask. So I'd like to ask you what the Archangels have to say about all this.
Yeah. Don't hate Charlie and Simon. They were either told or together they sat down and said, we need to cast shadows because we're under some serious NDAs here and people coming at it like a flood for information. So we need to get them off our backs.
Yeah, cool it off. Back them
and
off.
cool it down. And that's all that was. That's all it was.
So you did ask some questions of your friends, your celestial friends today. Why don't you go ahead and share it?
Divine. God's
divine friends,
loving
celestial friends.
Messengers,
I like celestial
Angels.
friends. They don't like that? They don't like celestial friends? No?
No. I like heavenly friends. I like, don't get me started. Okay? You know how okay. So this was a neat meditation this morning. Very quick. I've been rushed on everything this morning. So I always ask, where do you want me to meet you? I always go to the 6th level of heaven, which I've told that that's where that is. So that I'm safe to talk to them. I prayed before, and I know I was going to meet with Archangel Gabriel, and I asked him, where do you want me to meet you? And he said, by the tree. I said under the tree, because it has a canopy. And so I'm like, okay. So I show up at the tree, and he's standing there on the tree with his arm on the tree, just kind of kicking it and smiling at me. And I'm like, okay. And he's all interested in the tree. And I'm like, well, running out of time here. Need a situation update. That's what I came in for. And you're talking about a tree. And it's a huge leafy tree. I think it's a leafy tree, but I was told it was a spruce. Doesn't matter. Anyway,
Okay.
So it's a huge, strong, leafy tree that in my perception, and has grown over the years. The more that I visited it, the more that I've grown and done these meditations. Every time I come back, it's like huge. It's bigger. I mean, the base is wider and everything. And he's standing under the tree, and he's smiling at me with his arm on the tree, and I'm like, he says, everything will be okay. everything's going to be okay. I'm like, okay. Concerning, like, I'm such a brat. And he says the world's about to change. I'm like, really? And he goes, you know what's great about this tree? And he changed the subject because they do this. They're the best teachers you'll ever have, besides God, Jesus, The archangels are God's messengers, God's helpers. So separate. So he says, you know what's great about this tree? He says it grounds you in your reality. It grounds you. He's talking to me. And I'm like, he says, it's good to sit under it. He says, and it's important to stay grounded as you move forward. And my first thought goes to fear. And so I'm like, okay, so like, why? And there's something coming. So I'm over there and I'm hugging the tree, like, leaning on the tree, like, come on, man. Don't tell me anything else is going to hit me, And he laughed. And I'm like, what should I say? Hugging this tree. Ask for relief of pain and to see clearly. I'm not in physical pain, but I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, on a world stage, all kinds of stuff. We're all going through this stuff right now. It's very hard. This is definitely the precipice. And I'm hugging this tree, and I'm asking for this, and I'm like, and I kind of look at him out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, please don't be telling me that the tree about the tree, because I'm about to go through another time of misery, and that will require strength. Because the idea about the tree was this additional strength that anchors you, who you are there, for what I am supposed to be here and what I'm doing here as this human being, Jennifer Faladoring, right now. And a side note, I didn't write down. Mark our spot. I asked him, so is this like the tree of life? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay. And I said, well, do other people have trees? Some do. Some do. I'm like, all right, more to learn about the tree. But I said, that will tell me this is because there's something I'm going to have to go through that's going to require more strength. And he said, no, you have reached a plateau. Oh, thank you, God. And I'm thinking, and when he said that, I felt like, because my concern is never just for me personally. I mean, I have my moments, all right? But I felt like that was for everyone. He knows I'm coming out here. He knows I'm going to tell you what I got. He knows I'm going to say it to you. I think we've reached a plateau with that. And a plateau, you're climbing this very steep climb right there to get to that plateau, and then you got this long period where it flattens out. And that would be peace to me. So he realizes that I'm starting to get involved in myself and thoughts and everything, and he said, let's take a walk. And I said, okay. So we start walking out into the grass field, and he's talking to me, kind of like if you're like walking with your grandpa, and they've got some seeds of wisdom for you. He says, everything's about to change. And I'm just thinking, and we're walking, and I said, I saw something in March. What is it that happens in March? And he said, recession, dollar change. And I'm like, well, so we have to wait till the RV. No. You don't wait till the RV for March. Because it has to happen before that. Right? Doesn't it have to happen when we've got fiat dollars and they are a certain amount, and this changes to a higher amount, and then we do this, and then they go to...
Yeah, I think it's set up. I don't think we have fiat dollars. I think if after the exchange, we're supposed to have the new gold-backed dollars,
Right.
which means we're ready to jump into the economy when the recession hits, when they have to sort of bring everything down in the old system, because I think they want to use us to, fire up the engine again, kind of a thing of the economy.
I always got that the RV had to go first, because of before that dollar changes to gold, that we would turn. They want to get their cash back in. They want to get these bonds, get rid of them.
Right.
They have to clean up the room before they start a new project, right?
Oh, so, but I mean, we're not the general public. That's the general pub. Yeah, before the general public, they could give us dollars that exist in both systems because they're going to have a 1-to-1 value when the changeover happens for a while, right? Until the fiat currency is worthless at some point.
I believe we exchanged for notes. Anybody?
Yes.
I asked.
Yeah.
I asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I
So he
meant.
said, so don't let this make you feel bad, like, oh my God, now it's March,
Yeah.
because that's not it. That's really when we have this whole blow up with the money and it changes. And I said, is that the Nassar rollout that I've seen? He says, that has already begun. And I said, okay, I'm more specific here. Is that when the debt goes away? And now this is very, very a topic that I have had a lot of trouble getting the answer to, because I am personally involved in that a lot. And so I hear a yes, and then I'm like, I probably put that in his mouth. I said, can you say it in a way that will help me know I did not put words in your mouth?
Okay.
And so this is what you do, those of you who are taking the classes and doing your own meditations for your life. It's like, well, can you say it in a different way that I normally wouldn't use? And so he takes his hand and he's kind of like goes down and like a foundation, like a level. And I said, okay. And he said, debt is the foundation for dollars. He said, no dollars, no debt. And I said, really? Okay. And so I said, they're not going to, like, transfer our debt into notes. He says, you cannot pay debt in notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why? He says, because debt has no value. It's like buying air with gold. I'm like, good. Feeling better. So, buying air with gold. And so I'm thinking, and the wheels are turning, and he's like, you'll see. All right. But you see how, like, I'm a child over there? I always have been. And they're so knowledgeable, and I'm trying to get the information, and they know when to cut it off. They're just like, you'll see. It's okay now. I'm like, all right, you're trying too hard, is what they're saying. I said, will we get notifications to exchange this week? And he kind of he says, that depends on the completion of the current tier. Payment structure and payment structure. Timelines or tier/payment structure. He said timelines are an estimate of plans according to those who are in charge of the staff doing the work. So the reason that we've seen, and other things that have happened to slow this down, negotiations and things. So the reason, like he said, a contractor may say 2 weeks and hit. I'm writing if I screwed this up.
Hit an obstacle.
Yeah.
It says hit an obstacle.
Okay. Oh, I see what I did there.
I can read your handwriting better than you can.
I'm in here with my eyes closed writing this crap. Okay, so A contractor may say 2 weeks and hit an obstacle. There we go. This pushes completion off.
Mm-hmm.
He said, scheduled completion at this time to transition into 4B is the next week, 29th. That is the goal. That's all I got. So that explains why. So you got a contractor coming out to your house and they're like, how long is it going to take? I need to plan everything, my entire life around this. How long is it going to take to fix the kitchen? Oh, 2 weeks. Well, then they start opening up the walls and stuff and they find mold or they find this or they find that. That's how this whole thing is gone.
Right. Yeah.
And that is the delays.
Watch the show Love It or List It. That's what always happens. And that's what's been happening with this RV. Is, we pulled up these floorboards and now look, you've got rotted out beams. We got to replace those. So yeah.
Right, and you got rats running around,
right,
screwing up what you're trying to do. And so a lot of people do not condemn people because they put out dates. I've put out dates, and I'm trying to my hardest with the best intent to hear them clearly and get it from the most divine source, all right? And others have gotten actual intel, and what the intel is that they get, this is the deadline that we have now. And whether they hit that deadline or not depends on, they could not anticipate how long, how big, how much work, any delays from anybody else. You try to put in a certain amount of time to account for delays. But that was the estimate. And so right now, the deadline is the 29th.
Remember, everyone within earshot or eyeshot of this show, that all a gifted divine psychic like Jen can do is take a snapshot in time right now of what the most likely probability is. You have all 7 billion humans with free will making choices. So things could interfere. But I would like to point out, now, Jen, you didn't watch Mark Z this morning before you came on, or did you, Jentel? Did you? And you haven't been paying attention to all of the stuff. You weren't even on Telegram this weekend, where there were people saying, oh, maybe, 29th is the latest scheduled time and all that. So Jen came up with this completely separately from all that other stuff. Here's what we know. We know that Wolvie and Mark and now Jen and a lot of other people in the rumor mill have been saying for a while now, I guess, or are all saying it's this week. 6 days from now. On the 29th.
I don't really remember if I heard the 29th from anybody. I haven't really been watching podcasts or anything this weekend.
I mean,
so I can't honestly say that I have not seen anybody say that, but
thank you, Scott.
He said it to my face.
Yeah, Scott. But well, you can go back. Maybe go back after the show and just ask him again. Did that come from you or did that come from me? And we'll clarify that later. But yeah, Texas Snake said the 29th. So I knew there were some others that were out there in the field.
I mean, I don't want to ever be like, I don't know. I do get on Telegram and I do scroll through, but this weekend it wasn't like paying attention to anything. I mean, so I don't ever want to be like, no, I've never heard of the 29th. I've never heard anybody say it, because I could have saw somebody post it. But when I was in there,
Gabe did say 29th.
Yeah.
On his own. Yeah.
And I saw the numbers 29 like in the air in my mind.
So I just want to say.
And then I went back and looked at the calendar, and because he said next week, and I said, oh, what's the 29th? And I looked at the calendar, and it said Sunday, and I'm like, oh, that actually is the next week. That's when the next week starts, so we'll see.
Right. My ranking of intel sources is kind of like this. It's Jen, and then Mark, and then probably the broker, and then Wolvie, and then other guys like Bruce and Judy Byington and Simon and Charlie, Simon and Charlie should be more up here, but they do put out disinfo sometimes to throw the bad guys off because they know they're being watched.
Because they have too
There's
many
about 7 people, and pretty much everybody except Charlie and Simon are saying the first 4 there are saying this week. So let's keep in mind that things can change because people can make different decisions and things can happen in the news that can affect stuff. But right now, looks like we're pretty close.
Everything I'm getting says the same thing. And
So Jen, yeah, you're in agreement from a separate source with other people.
And I really feel like a lot of people that are putting these deadlines out and coming out and say it's coming, they have been given intel that gave them the deadline. It gave them the expected completion day. It gave them, even with the Treasury and all that other stuff. They've all got these, even any business, you've got some kind of, okay, what's their completion date? What's their goal? What's this? And so I believe these people have been receiving this information. And if you come out and you hear it from like 10 different people, and then I go and don't know about it, get the same damn thing, that's the deadline.
That's the deadline.
The problem is they haven't been meeting the deadline.
Right. And also, it's to be clear, it isn't that people have said the 29th, but most people have been saying the end of the month, and it has to be done in January for various legal agreement reasons and stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at. Wolvie said end of the month initially, and Mark has been saying end of the month. Now Mark is saying this week, which is almost the end of the month, but not quite. So,
well, I did get a hint that it may go end of week, but just to be safe, if they hurry up and finish it up real quick and say, all right, we're done, let's do it, and they get everything they need to move on, then they could do it this week. But
yeah, Cherry, notifications is I think what we're talking about. That's what Jen's question is, when do the notifications start?
Notifications for you to make your appointments, for you to act, and to start this process for yourself.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. Let's just hang on. And again, you can't count on this, guys. So don't count on it. Assume it's not going to happen, and pray for it to happen. But prepare your life.
Assume it's not going to happen, because I've really been getting lately just these waves of, wow, this is like a real thing. I mean, like, this is really happening, right? I mean, this is really happening. But so I've been feeling that. And a lot of times, I receive information in a lot of different ways. Okay. And sometimes, which all of us moms call our mommy senses, that's good stuff. And when you just get a feeling, like storm's coming, or kids on the roof, stuff like that. It was one of those. I've been having that lately, but I've been swinging, and we've really had a push and pull of the negative forces in this world. Trying to pull you down. We've been fighting doubt, and and everybody around us has been like, oh, great, now that kid's not okay. Now this kid's not okay, and now he's not okay, and I'm just trying to be okay and take care of everybody. But in the midst of all that, I still get these waves, and I see the waves in Wolvie. That's what it is. It's not. You can feel the difference between convincing yourself that you're absolutely going to win that lottery. And, I don't have to worry about any of my responsibilities because I'm going to win the lottery and everything's okay. Wouldn't that be so great? And I'm just totally convinced. And then the next day, win the lottery and you're completely destroyed. This is different, because that feeling that when you convince yourself that you're going to win the lottery, you can feel the truth underneath it.
Yeah.
That's something we really need to move into, and I'm going to be teaching people as we move forward. There's the truth underneath it. And when something comes in and it really is true, you don't have that crumbling effect beneath the positivity. It's solid. And I've been getting waves of that lately. So that is good news. And I had something else, but now I forgot what it was.
I was going to ask you, the new gen crypto thing appears to be moving forward. I got another email this weekend saying it's all done, it's all set up, we're all in agreement, and you'll be getting another email when it's time to go in and do this. And I'm wondering, are cryptos in general, are they going to do this? Are they going to pay people out and buy back all the cryptos and then get rid of them, or is this part of the RV that it's? I mean, it seems coincidental that this is happening this week, this time period when we feel like we're so close. Is there something to do with cryptos in the RV that people are being compensated or something?
They are getting rid of currencies, however what you want to call it,
Right.
that are air.
Yeah.
If you want to go back
Air.
to what we just learned, air. And we're going into currencies that are real. There will not be very many. I could not tell you which will survive. I think there will be a couple that will, because people have gotten very used to this instant gratification. There will be people that don't believe in the notes anymore. So they wanted something completely different. So I think that will be around for a while. I've never got on board with the crypto thing. I've always had this temporary kind of feeling about it. That it's almost like stocks. You get in, you wait, you watch it, and you get out. And that's just my personal feeling about it. So I'm not knowledgeable about it. I never understood the thing, but if anything that goes forward will have a real world solid thing value. It will not be air.
I think the only cryptos that are going to survive are going to be the ones that are going to facilitate the exchange of currencies across the world. And that's like XRP, XLM, those kinds of things. I suspect that those are going to survive. Others are just not. They're just going to get rid of them and not going to be a means of exchange. But there are a few that will make it. And you're right. And it's pretty interesting stuff. So let me ask you this. My plan was, if I were to get this payout from my cryptocurrency and it was enough, that I was going to pay off all my credit card debt. All my credit card debt, my teeth, everything, just pay it off. Is that a helicopter stalking you, Jen?
Yeah, did you hear that? And the dogs are barking.
Yeah.
And then the computer just glitched. Exciting. Go look out the window, but everything's fine.
SWAT team's coming.
Fine. Yeah,
SWAT team's coming. We got to shut this girl up, man. She's giving everybody too much optimism. Is that a good plan, or will I ever get that money back, or should I just hold on to it or convert it into gold or silver or something? I mean, what?
I'm never going to tell you not to pay your bills.
Okay.
I'm never going to tell you that. I had the same thought with the RV. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of it all just so that I can be at peace now instead of that and sit on it and wait.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like from what I've heard that it's March, but I have been wrong before. And in the personal yearly forecast, the financial rating, I have seen all these dots.
Jen, my phone just 1111 me again, which means what? That I'm on track, that I should pay. I think it means I should pay everything off. Don't you?
Or that's what time it is. And
no. Oh, Dave Bear. Oh, I see. Dave Barra sent me a message that said 11:11 at 11:11. But it's interesting that I brought that up without even looking at the clock. At 11:11, should I pay this all off? Okay, so I think the answer is
there
yes.
is a chance that when I saw all these paybacks coming to people in the fall, little dots everywhere, that it happens. That part of it happens then, but we just got information today that dollars are the foundation for debt, and if you pull the dollar, then you have no debt, and so that happens the same time. And so if we're going to get go over to U.S. notes and go back possibly in March, then I'm hopeful that it happens at the same time. So I don't know anything about any of this crap.
Does that mean that our money is not going to be called the dollar anymore?
No.
Does that mean doesn't mean it? It's just, okay, the current dollars we have are debts.
It'll take a while for people to get around to that, but it had to be a different name because people are it's going to be a period of time where people are cashing in or exchanging and getting all the old dollars out of circulation, and that always takes a while.
Yeah.
That must be the public. Okay, when we get to the public rates and it's time for the public to exchange and the public announcements and all that crap, that's why it's happening now. Because that would probably be, we got to get all these little dollars in. Oh, do you have any foreign currency? You can get rid of that too. All this stuff. So, and on the yearly forecast, I saw for most people who, whether knowing that they had currencies or not, there was a dot, a big one. Some people huge. Some people just not. In February, and it looked, most people first couple weeks, mid-February, first couple weeks, it ranged. It was different, and it's just basically a position, so I couldn't quote you a date or anything like that, but it depends on the person too, you know, when they set their appointment, what they decide to do. I mean, we could get these phone numbers and be on, you know, ding, ding, they can be busy.
Yeah.
So that here's the deal with this whole redemption or this exchange thing is they don't really know. All right, we've got this amount of time to get this tier done, this part of it done. How many do we got? Well, when we got the big guys with all the money, they've checked in. They know what they've got. But we got to accommodate the stragglers too. Everybody's does what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it or had any idea. So we got to get this all done, then we move on to the next. So I think the new dollars, the new notes come in after that tier is completed, and that would probably be March, and that's when we're going to see the public rates. Then we're going to see the public rollout of things. We'll start being notified of, and then it'll come out and say, we're in Nasara. I never thought they would call it that. I always thought it would be like, okay, here's the problem. This is what we're going to do. And you can just start checking lines off on the Nasara list. You know, it is what it is. I've already seen that happening. So, just remember, it's always business as usual until it's not. When you're supporting a family or you have to keep things, you don't put yourself in a position to lose. So everything is, yes, I'm working, yes, I have a job, yes, I'm paying debt, yes, I'm doing all these things, and then it happens and you're like, no, I'm not. Okay? So, but until it happens, and I would, you know, it's of course your personal decision, but till I can pull money out and I know it's mine, I'm going to act like I'm going to make the decisions
I would make, assuming there's no argument.
I have to.
That's the right way to approach it. So I was going to share one other thing. I have a friend in the banking business, and she has been telling me about, last week I told you, I think on Friday, about the DTCC, the Depository Trust Clearinghouse Corporation. They were supposed to be all set to go to a new system today, the 23rd. She got an email last night that said it has been delayed indefinitely. And I'm like, what? Until next week. So remember, they're the old system. So when they switch to a new system, that means the old fiat currency. That's where all of our birth certificates are, is the DTCC. That's important. It means something. I don't know exactly how it's connected, but I do know that they were scheduled to go today, and they didn't go today, and they sent everybody an email.
I don't trust those emails. I don't trust it. I don't know why. I don't have any information. This kind of thing is going to be people will not just a handful of people be notified. I think that's probably a scam.
Okay. Well, I think it's part of her business. It's like she's working for a bank. So that it's not a personal
thing. Well, that would be great. But that kind of thing, and notifying you of your trust, and that, you know, this is what we're doing, and that's going to be a national thing. That's going to be a big thing.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think it's about necessarily notifying her of her trust. I think it's about I think it's about how her bank does business and the new system they need to go to. But
okay, I totally misunderstood that.
Yeah, no, I think it's showing them that there's a new system coming. that was
Well, that's why
scheduled
it
for
didn't
today.
feel right.
Yeah.
I totally
Very
was thinking that's like, oh, we're telling you about your
No.
trust. Send us your social
No.
security numbers and all your bank
No,
account
I don't
numbers.
think the DTCC is going to be involved in that because they're the criminals that have been holding on to your birth certificate as a financial instrument. Yeah, so Mary Gold got the notice too. So
Okay. So my question on that was all off, and that's why it was. Yeah, I guess it would have been false if it was concerning. So it's not individually about their personal trust. It's about something else. So I don't have an answer on that.
right, some banking stuff.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
screwed that all up.
A show that was chock full of news today. How much time do we have left? It's 11:18. Do you have to go soon, or can we?
I don't know. I probably should. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look. Pretty sure I am. I got a few more minutes.
All right. So do not forget, please, that these videos do get dropped right off of the YouTube channels almost as soon as we're done with the show here. It'll be taken off of YouTube, and then you have to go to mikebear.blogspot.com to get the replay directly connected to the Rumble channel, Real News Live. Thank you, Casey, for helping me with Real News Live on Rumble yesterday. I appreciate that very much. And that's where all the cool stuff is going to be, is mikebear.blogspot.com. Also, do not forget to visit our wonderful patrons, cbdgurus.com, for all kinds of cool CBD products for your health. Make sure you get in there to their website, go to wholesale, go to the Mike B Wholesale tab, and input the discount code ALIEN. No S on the end, no capital A. ALIEN, all lowercase. And you get the latest stuff. And if you spend $25, you're going to get a million Bolivar thrown into the order. Jen got some last week. We got the immunity stuff, the Delta 8 gummies, the CBD Guru pills and capsules, and the Miracle Gold. And my personal favorite, the pet oil stuff is there. And the weight loss. They put the weight loss on supplements on at my request. You combine that with Jen's weight loss healings, and I think you're going to be in good shape. Speaking of good shape, Jen, let's go over to jenniferfala.com. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on over there?
Okay, as your question, I am offering at this point in time, I do not know how many students I will accept. I'm going to take a look at it and see, okay, what's doable for me. But at this point in time, I'm offering a very, very good deal. You almost basically get all of my classes for free, and that you get 4 1-hour psychic development sessions with me. I start a notebook for you. I keep track of when we talk. I'm sounds like I document everything, but just so that like when you come back in a month or every 2 weeks or 2 weeks, however you want to schedule it, I know what we talked about last time, the exercise I gave you and all that. So a session, the first session will be evaluating what you would like to achieve with this, how far, if you've taken the classes, if you've watched them, what kind of abilities you have. I always pull this information from me and the angels. They help me help you tailor make your psychic development and how whatever you would like to achieve. Anyway, really good deal right now. Get that while it's up. The price will either go up or I'll stop offering it. We got a medical intuitive reading on sale there. We've got so all the readings are, you can get a gift card or a reading you purchase. You email me after with everything. Okay, go down. There's something else on there.
Can you see that more clearly than normal? Is it bigger or no?
Yeah, it's kind of bigger. I can see it.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Okay.
Right. Go down. I put up combos that people ask me to put up. Like this one,
deal.
The house cleanser, personal cleanse for 12 months. So like if you have somebody you want cleansed every month, because, like this one woman gets her husband cleansed every month, and now her life is doable, okay? He's very nice now. You can do that for somebody. I'm only offering the reduced price if you purchase a lot, because, times are tough and mommy's got to do that. So anyway, here we go. We've got the everything healing, and I've got 5 of them right now for $2.59. That's just about $1 over $50 a piece. And get it now, because that price will change. I'm going to give you one last shot at it. End of the day, it's going up. So if you know you have a bunch of people you want to do, you will get gift cards for those that you don't receive, or if you would just like to set somebody up on a monthly or a weekly or something like that, purchase, email me later. Same thing goes with weight loss healings, and anybody who wants to have a bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly session with me, just email me, tell me what you want to do, and say like, I'd like to have a counseling session with you like every other week. We'll figure out a deal. I'll give you a reduced price, and we can get it set up. And the reason you want to do it that way is because scheduling ahead of time gives you your day and time before I have to fit you in before everybody else who took up the days and times, right? So if you have a specific day or something that you want, you can get it. Anyway, don't forget to try out Susan Gretz, and Marcy Howe is always there for you for house cleanses, and Susan's doing mediumship for me to lighten the load. The love button is used for multiple items. So if you want one of these and one of those and one of this, everybody's got to email me after purchase, tell me what you did, and then we'll schedule from there. We schedule in the email. All right, that's it.
Okay. And yeah, I have to schedule with you for my yearly at some point. All right, let's go to the phones, as they say, and see what everybody's talking about. Hi, Mike and Jennifer. This is by far my favorite podcast. You are a woman of taste, Sandy. Uncle Ron's here. Mike, you're getting dirty looks.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ron.
well, when you put a giant air vagina on, you're going to get dirty looks from Jen. That's the way it goes. Red skies at night, says Lanny Wallace. Interesting. Victoria Adams, after 2 years, I'm finally able to bear weight on my foot. I'm using a walker now. Thank you all for your prayers.
Oh, good to hear it. Good to hear it.
Is that cloud a sign telling them they're screwed? No, we're going to get quite a few of that. It's normal if you're a 500-foot woman. Gabby, our dream says it's a space vagina for the penis rocket ships. Yeah, I'd like to see Elon Musk shoot one of his rockets right through that sucker. That would be something to see, right? Oh, God. Okay. Wouldn't worry until the space penis shows up.
You're the winner. That's the winner.
That's right.
You're amazing. I love that one.
But the space penis will kill you. Stop. My stomach hurts. Okay. So, clouds. Yeah. Layla says, Janine says it's a portal. Well, that's why we have Jen on this show and not Janine. Although we appreciate you.
I really think that if there was it wasn't the time of day, the sun casting, the color into it, and the guy's perspective of it. If you were behind it in some other part of the world, it probably looked completely different. I think that if it was white, you probably wouldn't even notice the way it looked, the shape of it. So I've seen a lot of weird things that are just.
It's interesting. When we were shooting a show called Uncovering Aliens in Sedona, we were doing some reshoots in Sedona, and I don't know if I actually have a shot of it, but we were there shooting, and it was a very cloudy day, and there was a hole, in the clouds that looked like some sort of portal right over this mountain that was supposed to be, supposedly visited by aliens and things like that on a regular basis. And if I can pull up a screenshot of it, I will, but I don't see it here right off the bat. But it was really weird. It was really weird. And those things do happen, and they can be really weird. Oh, that's not an album. Okay, well, let's go on. Karen Lewis says, hope Dave is doing well. Dave is doing better. He told Jen his symptoms. She said, go get it checked out. We went and got it checked out on Friday. It took a long time. He looks like a vampire. He's got these bloody eyes, but the doctor said it's just sort of normally part of some of the medications he's on and stuff. So it's not something to worry about. Big Dave's Peanut. Do you pop out on a planet with all women like an old episode of Star Trek? Yeah. Hi, Bob Zem. How are you doing, man? Good to have you here. Thanks for doing the moderation. It's amazing how the cameraman was right there to get that angle. Yeah, the Damar Hamlin thing she's talking about. Yeah. Cherry wants to know, Mike, what's up with some of these Telegram groups hating to be wrong, calling them out like you is fun? That'll get you banned, Cherry. That'll get you banned. Red skies at night, sailor's delight. Ask any sailor in the middle of the ocean what this was. Okay. And then when you were getting blocked, people were saying the sky giant is creating interference. Oh, this is so much fun. Robert's moderating the other channel. That's right.
Thank
Bob's
you,
here.
Robert.
Okay. This is interesting. Wells Fargo Bank ATM's not working and drive-through is closed. Things that make you go hum. Yeah, and Glenn, Wells Fargo said they're not going to loan to white people anymore. So I say take all your money out of fucking Wells Fargo. And what about, Jen, what about the Bank of America thing? That was another thing that happened this weekend is people could not get their cash out of their accounts at Bank of America and money disappeared from their accounts. Is that connected to the transition or is that the deep state just trying to steal their money?
Well, I think that's part of the glitch of the transition. There's something going on with that they weren't. I think that's fixed now.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Phil's last show? He's supposed to be on again tonight. On anything that's not related to Intel, I don't really pay attention to Phil.
I did not watch in the middle when he actually talked about what job he had to do recently.
Yeah.
When he said he was going to go dark and his reaction to it and where he thinks we're at. If you go back, it's right in the middle somewhere. Go back and listen to it. Because I was just like, I was kind of glazing over everything, and then I saw that, and I heard that, and I was like, shoo. What? What did you see?
Yeah.
Just get hyper focused on that. I knew what he was saying. He was saying Nazara is starting, or has started.
And which is exactly what Gabe said today, too, right? So.
Pretty much. He said that. He said it's already. Let's see. I'm hugging a tree. Let's see. Is that the Nassar rollout? That has begun. Like, he said it like, yeah, that's already happening. So, like, when you guys were asking me about this a couple years ago, I was getting information that there would, in this whole cleanup of everything that's tied in with it, you're going to see a rollout. They were going to do one thing at a time to completion. And now we're to the point where we're going to see it with the financial. That's one part of what needs to be cleaned up. A very big part. That's how they win. And so then we'll get through that, and they start cleaning up parts of our lives, like the medical industry and the pharmaceuticals and the taxes and this and the that and the FBI and the DOJ and the blah 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 blah. And so what you've been seeing all this time is foreshadowing this. They're slipping in information to get the public used to the idea when it happens, so they're not like, what, you know. Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard about that, and that's more accepted.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought maybe was going on with the football games, but and of course Mike does not have the clouds he wanted to show people. So, Super Bowl 40, Suns versus Sonics in the 90s. That was actually 93. Yeah, the Suns shot 32 free throws in the second quarter. That game was fixed. No dollars, no lap dance. Okay. Someone sold a jet ski generator and 4 new tires from our local free food distributor. Will we find them, and where should we look? Any help with that?
It's kind of like a missing persons case, you know. Not my finding
not your
stuff.
area of expertise.
Not my area of expertise. I'm not sure you're gonna find the stuff, but not the person.
Oh, really?
Odds aren't good there. I'm not feeling good about it.
So you're gonna find the stuff, but not the person who did it. Okay.
Right.
Does this have something to do with the IRS going? Well, that I think is going to be part of the thing down the road, right, Jen? I mean, it's
tied to the dollar.
Yeah.
If debt is the foundation of the dollar, and the IRS is the collection arm to pay that debt,
Yeah.
No dollar, no debt.
When,
IRS.
when Jen said she hugged the tree, I thought of Trump hugging the American flag. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was like, it was kind of like me collapsing onto the tree, like, come on, don't tell me there's anything. It's bad coming. Fill me with straight tree, you know. It's like, it's kind of funny.
Didn't guys, Wolfie say something was supposed to happen by the end of this month, last month or so, on one of his Telegram grids? Yes, he's been saying that, actually. End of the month. Jen, in the afterlife, do crime victims meet their assailants? And if they do, what happens? Like, do people meet the ones that kill or abuse them?
That really has to do with whether the person was in your circle, and usually a lot of people that that was written in somehow for such a major event. It depends on the vibrational level. Now, if you had a dark spirit that did something terrible to you, you're not going to see him in heaven because that's where you're going. Okay? You're not going to see him. If you had a deranged individual who had mental illness and is in heaven getting rehabilitated and was not in his right mind or didn't mean to do it or something like that, totally different story. So it really something that you would have to, you couldn't categorize and loop all these people in these situations into one category. It's just as individual as a book and a story, you know, so it depends. But like, as in dark, terrible, demonic, you know, dark spirits that did this terrible thing, like some of the things that we've heard, they can't get in. They can be here with the host, but they can't get in there.
Ron says Sedona is magical. Well, be ready with your camera at all times because lots of stuff happens there. Aliens, abductions, people flying around, you know, on jetpacks, things like that. Let's go to Rumble real quick, Jen. Let's see if there's any questions. Joanne QAnon says, love the tree story, Jen. I have a huge garden. I put my hands in the soil to get grounded and talk to Jesus. That's important. Hi, my name is Rick Gober. My granddaughter is Kellyanne Schleicher. She has molluscum. God, dude, how many difficult to pronounce names and things can we have? She has molluscum on her legs. Can you please heal her? The medicine is not working. Well, Jen doesn't do the healing. Jesus does, but it's Kellyanne, Caliane, Kellyanne Schleicher.
Okay. I will do the work, and I will try, and I don't turn children away. Send me an email. Go to jenniferforlaw.com, or can you put up my email?
Sure, hang on. I can do that in a sec. jmfalaw@gmail.com.
Okay. It's in the chat. It's right there. Send me an email. I need her picture and her name. Just short bullet point. I don't need a lot of information. A lot of people write me a book, and I screenshot the email and the pictures, and I put them into a different picture file, pull them out when I'm doing the meditation. So if I'm reading to try and find this person's name, no good. I need the name, condition, picture. That's it. And please do not, because I said this, that I don't turn children away, please don't send me everybody and their mother that you know in the emails right now, because that happens. When I say that, everybody's like, well, I know this, my, sister's husband's brother's friend, daughter's friend has this. And it's like, you have to understand that I go in and I spend time to do these. And so I do approve when I hear that.
Yeah. Gary S. over here on Rumble, you've got a rate and date question. My thing is, don't worry about the dong rate. Just it'll be good. Just relax. Let it happen. Don't worry about it. This is a good one, Jen, before we go. Deborah Thomas, you said no dollar, no debt. In gematria, that's 151, which equals Jesus Christ. So.
Oh, that's so cool. Did you see, there was God, it was freaking, it was scary. There was a video, that Bob Brown had a guest on his show, and yeah. Mike knows who he is. And he does this reverse speech with
that's John David O.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And although I don't like to, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I don't like the whole play the record backwards thing. I'm like, oh, that's satanic. But then it was so interesting what was heard, and when someone was speaking the truth, it would say it in a different way. And there's just so many things that goes back to. That lines up with the angels telling me something in a different way when I won't get out of my own way.
Yep.
To get the truth into me. Oh, and another thing I came across this weekend, I want to share it, and I want to talk to you about it. All right. So the Edman thing baffles me. All right, because I was stuck in the understanding that in order to make something, you have to pull from something. Well, I just knocked that over. You have to pull from something else. Okay. That is our physical reality. And this thought process led me to think about the med beds. And like, well, how are they? What are they making? And how can you make an arm? How can you do that? When I do the healings, and it's so interesting now, when I do the healings, I have been told, the very first thing Jesus told me, he says, tell the body what to do. The light that is put in there, and this pairs up with something else. The light that is put in there is intelligent. It has, and then this is leading up to me writing The Seventh Element, my book I'm supposed to write someday, but I'm not smart enough to do it yet. All right. The light, all elements are housed within the light of creation. And if it is at such a high vibrational level, it needs nothing else to pull in to do it. So now this makes sense to me because I've been doing this in my healings, asking God, go into the source for his light of creation, create the healing. Okay? We got to get past everybody's doubt of creation, their personal creation. We try to come around the back side, or the front side is better, and get that in there. And so if everybody's on board and believing, yes, we can do this, much easier. Okay? Also, the other day I learned, actually people asked me a couple times over the year, and I actually came to the answer the other day. In a reading, somebody asked, well, do you eat in heaven? And the answer that came was no, because of the location and the closeness to the source. Because of the vibrational energy around you, you do not need to pull energy from anything else to survive. You can eat if you want to. Now that makes sense. Because it's the vibrational level of that energy, the concentration of it. And if God's light, the element of creation, has all that houses all others, the element that houses all others, that's all I pretty much know at this point.
That's interesting because
then
there's a
wait.
Oh,
then the reason we have to eat here is because this dimension, if you don't believe in other dimensions, think again. Because we are standing at a place that we call common ground. They're not supposed to be here. They need a host to be here. The very, very low of dimension, the bad guys. And they will use that host as much as they can to remain. But the reason we have to eat things, and nobody understood this, well, if God is God's world, then why do we have to eat things, and why do we kill, and why do we do this? Because we are located on a ring in the bullseye I told you about, far enough from the beginning of the source that we have, the center source, that we have to pull energy to survive from somewhere else. And if they have figured out, this is not playing God, this is probably working with God, and the bad guys were probably trying to manipulate and could really accomplish it as well as it could be done. If they have figured out how to harness that energy, raise the vibration of it so high, and then give it a command, then they could create anything with that for you with the most high intent. Now, that's the clincher. And this is all coming around to the way I do the healings, and I always have. I didn't really know what's going on, but I'm doing it, and then it makes sense now. That this med bed needs to be in the hands of those who are doing it for a high vibrational intent. Because if you're working with energy, you've got energy going on, you've got everything is energy, right? At different vibrational levels. And if you've got people in the room or the person in the bed thinking, yeah, I just want to be thin and I want to be so that I can go and screw everybody's wife, you know? Some case it looks like some dude's in there and he wants to be a playboy. Okay, so he wants to be young again. Probably not going to look too good when you come out. I mean, it's probably going to interfere with that high vibrational energy. It may take it down a notch. But I think if they've figured out how to rev up, increase, and concentrate energy, the element of creation, to a high enough vibration, and then add in to tell it what to do, the information that it needs to be done, that's how God creates. That's how the healings are done.
Mm-hmm.
But I know in the healings, if you got somebody totally in doubt, they're thinking, oh, they say I'm going to die from this. Oh, there's no cure. Oh, there's this. It gets in the way. It gets in the way. So it's kind of like I was sitting there thinking this weekend because I had time to sit and think. And this is what happens when I have time to sit and think. But it totally makes sense to me. And now I think that is possible. I think that, okay, well, they figured it out somehow. Not to play God or harness something or take something fake and give you a plastic arm, but actually to accelerate and quickly raise and concentrate the vibrational level of the energy that already is. And then put it in.
Yeah, your energetic body still has that severed arm in its memory. There's what they call Kirlian photography, which you can cut a leaf and put it under the Kirlian photography, and the rest of the leaf that you cut off still shows as an electrical vibration. So that programming is still there. Yeah, I talk about it in.
So they saw the soul, basically.
Yeah, and you know, there's a guy named Alex Collier that I like a lot, and he said one thing once. He said that the aliens told him that the whole universe is made up of light and sound, and how matter is created is the interference of light and sound waves, which then slows down and solidifies. So in other words, your DNA is like your programming. Supposedly there's also experiments where they took a laser and shined it through like some salamander DNA samples onto a frog, and over the course of 8 days or something, the frog turned into a salamander.
Shut up.
Supposedly.
That's freaking awesome. I love that stuff. You know, and you're talking about sound and frequency. I also had like a very deep thought this weekend about sound and frequency out of the blue and nowhere. I'm like,
we were going to have this conversation today. So I just want my gallbladder back, working, fully functional. Yeah, all the fat off my body that I don't need, and a little more dawn. A little bit more dawn. I'm happy.
Okay. So yeah, we won't get into
it. It is being said that they'll be able to do that, right? The thing is that it's weird. You know what's weird about the med beds that bothers me is they're saying, oh, you can change anything. You can change the color of your eyes. You can change your face. It's like, do we really want to all go around looking like Ken and Barbie? I mean, you picked this expression of your soul for physical expression for a reason. And it doesn't seem, I don't know, it just seems like it's unlikely.
I believe that there is probably a best case scenario when it comes to DNA and how it was originally given to you, or how it was originally intended to be. Because when I've been doing these toxin DNA healings, God's there. Jesus, me, God, and all kinds of angels all around. That's what it looks like. And what he does is he'll pop this DNA strand and it's white and it's like spinning and you'll see dark marks in it. and they just fall away. He makes it all white, sends it, puts it back in the body, probably for my benefit, to watch that. But what he says is as I intended it to be.
Right. So in other words, I could become the best, most optimized Mike Berra that I could be, but I can't change my body into Tom Brady. I can't be Tom Brady and go play football. That's what you're saying. You think is the essence of the MedBed technology.
I really don't know,
right?
But I think that it would probably be paired with true, honest intent. And I've heard some talk about this with that quantum financial system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting. Oh, it's interesting for me because a lot of aha moments for me the more I learn about it. Because I've been doing this stuff without really realizing it in the healing room for years, and people are like, well, wow, why are you so effective? Because I love people, and I go in there and I'm loving them. Oh my God, can we do something about this? Let's get this. They have to, please, and then the person that asks for the healing for that person loves that person, and God loves you, and all of that high vibrational love pairs together to help that overcome your doubt or that person's doubt and create this effect. We're creating the healing, and that transfers down on a soul level, and it transfers down to the body. But if they created something that could concentrate that divine energy that houses all the elements up to a high enough vibrational rate, what I've seen in some of the cancer healings, we put this energy in people and it will concentrate, get brighter till it gets like a gel. It looks like a gel and it starts moving. Okay.
Interesting. I saw a post this weekend that described it exactly that way.
Shut up. Really?
No. Yeah, it's on. I'll send it over to your chat.
I love that. Anyway, so This is what I've experienced. So
I have to go to the eye doctor at 12:30, so we have to get going. I hate to cut you off, but
well, I'm going to start doing philosophy shows when I can talk and explain these things to people, because it's really time for me to teach this, and I think it's important for us to know moving forward to have that hope and understanding about where we're going.
Yeah. One last thing before we go, I just got the broker just updated me. He's about to go into a meeting, and his last 3 words were "holy shit." So take that as a positive reference. It's holy shit time. All right, that's it. We've had enough discussions of dongs and space things, and we're done for the day. Jen and I will be back on Wednesday for Tell the Truth Wednesday. We'll probably try to do more readings than we didn't get very many in today, but you guys didn't have a lot of personal reading questions, so we'll take care of that again on Wednesday and Friday. And don't forget to go to jenniferfalaw.com. Don't forget to check out the Telegram rooms. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter and Instagram. We love you guys, and we will see you back here on Wednesday. Bye-bye.